cannot help yourself. Spotswood rice.
The Civil War will continue in a few moments.
Major corporate funding for the Civil War is provided by General Motors and its Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, GMC truck divisions, and GMAC. General Motors, committed to excellence. Funding is also provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, which supports scholarship, research, education, and public programs. Also the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations, and by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
This is PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service.
For information about purchasing video cassettes of the Civil War, call 1-800-328-PBS1 or write to PBS Video.
For thousands of years, the rise and fall of nations depended on controlling the commerce crossing the world's oceans. Even today, what happens on these waters determines the future of our modern world. Economies, technology, politics, and national security are all affected by the power of the seas. Interrupt the flow of sea power, and the modern world ceases to function. The oceans hold promises of riches, knowledge, new lives, the promise of resources, and power. Now, one series provides compelling insight into the relationship between mankind and the seas, into our ageless quest for mastery of the oceans. A look at a powerful force which controls economies and lives. A look at our attempts to master it, to learn from it, to save it. I'm Leonard Nimoy, and this is the story of sea power.
Premiering 9 p.m. Tuesday, July 5th.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. In 1493, he sailed again the deep blue sea. In 1492, Columbus sailed the
Welcome to a place that is always just beginning. That rouses itself day to day and year to year to admire what it's made, starting with nothing, then rushes to invent itself all over again. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, knowing what goes on now goes on to shape tomorrow. Welcome to a land that is never exactly what you think it is, and will never stay that way for long. There are a million stories in the streets of the cities we never finish building. We intend to tell them all.
You're watching WTVS, Channel 56 in Detroit.
Continues.
Major corporate funding for the Civil War was provided by General Motors and its almost 800,000 employees in 38 countries. General Motors, committed to excellence in quality products and television programming. Funding was also provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, which supports scholarship, research, education, and public programs. Also the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations, and by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
For information about purchasing video cassettes of the Civil War, call 1-800-328-PBS1 or write to PBS Video.
This is PBS.
Call 1-800-441-3000 to order your companion book to the Civil War series called The Civil War, An Illustrated History. Published by Alfred A. Knopf and written by Jeffrey C. Ward with Rick Burns and Ken Burns. The price is $50 plus handling.
It happens every day and night. It doesn't stop when you graduate or reach a certain age. We are all of us learning even now. You see something unexpected, and you let it take you to a new place. It's not important to understand fully, but just to see. Some call it education, but that's only a word. You see something in a person's face, you hear their story, and that teaches you all that they struggle to learn. Maybe you're just remembering something you knew all along, but forgot. It could be we're here solely to remind each other what must not be missed or ignored, but celebrated and finally known.
The Chinese name.
When do we stop learning?
This is how
Maybe never.
in Chinese medicine that the body has to move.
You can never point to any one person and say, oh, he's been affected by the story of the Civil War. But you know that, like layers on a pearl, this kind of understanding accrues and develops and enriches in the best kind of way. Good history overcomes the arrogance that the past is long ago. The past, or at least history, our consideration of the past, is a present-day exercise. It tells us who we are now, and that's been my question, just the very, very simple question in all of the work. Who are we? Who are we as a people? What does it mean to be an American? I believe that public television is the only honorable place on the dial to express oneself. It's a place that allows me to do the work I want to do. It doesn't pick and assign my projects. I go to them and say, I'm interested in this. They don't, once I begin, influence that project. I expanded the Civil War from 5 hours to 11.5 hours. No one said no. And so I have spent my entire life sort of excavating the lives and emotional histories of my heroes. Dark and complicated people, good and bad people, tremendously ordinary people, and clearly heroic people like Abraham Lincoln. I am a perfect child of public television. I am honored that they will have me. I am grateful that they sustain me. My sense is that the future is this wonderfully unfolding pageant, informed completely by our own awareness of the past. You can't possibly know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
Today, you have become teachers. In your hands is our nation's most precious resource, our future. Yet before you can teach a single lesson, you will have to accomplish something far more difficult. You will have to inspire. It is not enough simply to make someone learn. You must make them want to learn. This is your challenge today, tomorrow, and for as long as the eyes of the young look up to you.
There's hardly a job on earth that asks more of a person. All we ask of you is to help us give them some tools to do it.
We'll be studying tornadoes. Please open your workbooks to Chapter 3, page 21.
We chose this object because, in fact, over the past 10 years, there were other indications that the material surrounding this very young star was distributed not in a spherical envelope, but probably in some kind of elongated structure.
Public television will always be America's single most important and accessible source of scientific information and understanding. Science in all its forms and pursuits. Science with a human face, striving to answer human needs, to imagine the unimaginable. Science is an unending series of real-life mysteries.
We'll be getting pictures of Neptune, essentially at arm's length.
To wonder, to explore. The never-ending story of public television.
Late in 1864, General Sherman began the furious march through Georgia that would make his name feared and hated forever in the South. And in the spring of 1865, Lee fled west in Virginia toward the little town of Appomattox. President Lincoln extended a forgiving hand to the rebels at his inauguration, and an actor named John Wilkes Booth prepared to take center stage. Find out about the war's terrible toll.
In Mississippi in 1866, 1/5 of the state's entire budget was spent on artificial limbs.
What the Civil War meant to black Americans.
The slaves won the war and they lost the war.
And what became of the famous generals and brave soldiers after the war's end. Don't miss War is All Hell and the better